Do 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 do. Oh, well. Oh, well. How are we doing, team? How are we doing? Da 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 da. Wah, wah, wah. Bum, bow, bow, bow. You always get bad when the non-copyright music all of a sudden starts to become catchy, you know? It's like, yeah. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, you know it's better when no copyright music is, yeah. But yeah, how are we doing, team? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the live stream. I hope we're doing well. If you're doing alright, if you're chilling in here today, let me know. Type in chat. Listen, remember, every engagement helps on this stream. And if you aren't already, please do consider subscribing. It does help me out massively. So, yeah, just that little subscribe button, click it. And that like button, the like button as well. All engagement helps. All engagement. And guess what? All three of those things I mentioned, they're all free. They're all free. Yes, Charlie, what's happening, man? Thoughts on, I know obviously you're maybe supporting Motherwell this season, but thoughts on Hearts? Thoughts on Hearts, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Hearts at the moment, obviously? But yeah, remember, team, like, type in chat, subscribe if you're not already. Defensively all over the place. I mean, I seen that Hull kit went off really early, which is not exactly a good thing. In fact, you went one up quite early as well, didn't you? That's the second time this season that you have been up, and then I shouldn't say use because like you are supporting Motherwell, supporting the local now. Aye, it is what it is. I mean, like, look, I mean they've still got the other leg to go at Tynecastle. I mean, I think you would have taken maybe 2-1 away. Go out and attack at home. Should have started Forest, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. That's just my opinion. I keep moving my mic up and down. I should really just keep it in the same place, but. Yeah, dreading watching Newbley at the weekend. Fortunately, I will not be there. I'm not going to the game I was supposed to be. But plans changed and whatnot. Instead, I'm going to be watching the Arsenal game. It's just a lot going on at the moment, and I'm kind of like, getting the time to go through to Motherwell to watch the game. It's just a bit too tight. So. Just say, focus on the Arsenal game. But I hope, obviously, Livingston. You know what? I feel like if I was to predict, I feel like a draw is a likely outcome. How's the new job going? Decent. It's hard. It's really I say decent, right? It's been a very up and down. Vans have been very unreliable. The job itself, when it's going well, is really good. Really, really good. Like, when you have a good run in the job, it's phenomenal. But when things are bad in the job, then they're really, really bad. It kind of goes from one extreme to the other. There's not really a middle bit. Thank you, James, for typing in chat as well. All engagement helps. Remember, liking, subscribing, chatting, all helps. But yeah, it's interesting because you're climbing telephone poles, and some of them have been there for years and years and years. Like, I climbed one the other day, been there since 98. And realistically, you're not supposed to climb them if they're older than 12 years old. But this one looks sturdy, so I was like, yeah, screw it. And it was in a tree. So it's like, if it was going to fall, it was going to fall into the tree. So it wouldn't have been that big of an issue. Just all risk assessment, really. Just assess, like if this is risky, how risky is it? But yeah, it's decent, and I can earn a lot from it. It's going to take me a bit of time to kind of get really, really going with it, get building up momentum with it. But it's decent. I've learned so much. So much. Chrissy, what's going on, man? How are we? Good seeing you. Yeah, I've learned so much. It's been kind of mad, but yeah, that's kind of what's happened. I mean, depending on who's in the stream today, I would love to make this a sport pod, but that's obviously going to be depending on the like how many people we have in. I'd also potentially like to kind of look at like I've got obviously the steering wheel and whatnot. Could look at doing some F1. Could look at doing some Fortnite even, try and get better at that, because I'm not gonna lie, I was stinking at the place yesterday. If any of you want to check out the previous stream, go ahead. The previous stream is obviously there on YouTube as well. You could just complete the Forza expansion. Fair. Is that the Hot Wheels one? Yeah, Hot Wheels one, isn't it? Chris, man, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Team as well, if you haven't already, please do check out the Axe Alma podcast. Axe was just an unreal guest. So do please check that podcast out. Make sure you like it as well. Listen, every single bit of engagement helps. Every single bit, commenting, liking, subscribing, anything you do, even just watching is also engagement, and that helps. This desk is really wobbly. Let me try. And then we'll just put that up a bit. I feel this is very low down. Very low down. Yeah, next guest is going to be interesting. I'm unsure yet of who to get. I'm kind of in a bit of a limbo at the moment. I've got a few people that I want to ask. A few people that I want to really like maybe see, are you up for it? Oh, it's a hard one. I kind of want to branch out of Twitch if I can help it. Get a few solely YouTubers if I can. But that's difficult because I don't I've already embedded in Twitch, and Twitch is quite easy. And I still want to build up a portfolio of many streamers, and then also have that portfolio to then go back on. I'd love to go back and interview everyone that I already have. That's something I also want to do, but I feel like I need to get a few more under the belt before I look at doing that. I mean, I tell you something that's mad. It's almost been 6 months since I had Staten on, so it's almost been 6 months. Should get Tony. I actually saw Tony 3 hours ago. Saw him about 3 hours ago. I was giving him boots. Do you know, my discount doesn't work anymore. It's just somebody I know. Which reminds me, I need to text him actually, just let him know that Tony's grateful for him. But yeah. Saw him a couple hours ago. That's what I was doing just beforehand, because my van's in the shop at the moment, so I can't earn money right now. So I was doing nothing anyway. So I went through to Lanark first, because Mum and Dad were getting the motorhome service. And then we went through to drive, and then they went back home, and then I went up to Tony's, basically, who's kind of stays Glasgow area. But in an electric car, I should add. I'm still not full in terms with we've got an electric car, and it's just kind of a bit. You were in Lanark, yep, in Lanark. Really not that far. It's like 25 minutes. Is this messing up again? Give me a sec. No, it's fine. Just being annoying. The desk is really wobbly today. I need to shore it up a bit. Find ways to kind of make it better. But yeah. But how are our days going, team? No, it's a motorhome specialist one. In fairness, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've just said no to you there. I don't actually know. I was in Lanark for maybe 10 minutes at most. Andy, what's happening, man? It's good seeing you. Good seeing you, mate. I've seen you be very active on the likes of Insta and whatnot. Good seeing you going about. How are you finding the job, by the way? I know obviously you complain about it a lot, but you know, is it one of the ones where you're just complaining, but it's all right, or is it one of these where you're complaining and it's really bad? But yeah, team, we're actually up to 6 viewers, and we've got a decent amount of people in chat. We could look at doing a sport pod. What are our thoughts, mate? What are our thoughts? We could do a sport pod. Pays the bill. Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's all jobs, isn't it? All jobs pay the bill. So, happy days. It's really difficult finding jobs that like are best of both worlds. Really, really difficult. How many likes are we on the stream at the moment? 4 likes. Team, we got 6 people watching. If all 6 of us like the stream, we catapults it. If all 6 people like it, we're on 5 likes. Come on, 5 likes. We're jumping up, team. Team as well. Like I said, if you're not already, subscribe. You know, it's free. It helps me out. Let's see. Just started my apprenticeship with the council this week. Been flung into East Kilbride. Spent 75 quid on petrol this week. Don't know how. Oh. What is it you're doing with your apprenticeship, man? What is it you're doing with your apprenticeship? I feel like you've told me this before, but I can't quite remember. I'm not so keen on East Kilbride, if I'm being honest. East Kilbride, I mean, other than like the shopping bit, doesn't really do it for me. It's a bit of area. Plumbing. In fairness, right? In fairness, out of all the trades to go into, plumbing is at the top right now. Plumbing right now is at the top, right? Because everyone's trying to like do like joinery themselves. So like you can do probably a bit of joinery yourself. You're absolutely fine. Electricians, they're kind of oversaturated now, so the work's becoming less and less. Plumbing is in mad demand right now. Plumbing is in mad demand right now. Because it's one of those where it's risky to do it yourself. It's very risky to do it yourself. So DIY on plumbing is like, it's risky. You can learn a lot of it from YouTube. Oh yes, we just got up to 6 likes. Come on, yes the team. Yes the team. That's what we look for. But yeah, plumbing. You're in the money with that. You're in the money with that, mate. 100%. It's exactly what you want to be in. Go to Blackpool Pool with the missus in October. So looking forward to that. Decent, mate. I've never been to Blackpool. A lot of people have. I've never been. It's like a lot of people like talks really highly of it. I mean, I don't really. I mean, people are like, yeah, pleasure boards, yeah. Peter Wells is the last sport pod, hasn't it? It has. I mean, let me see. I can probably let me see. Have I got it here? The last time I did a sport pod, that actually uploaded to Spotify. I actually did all right, to be fair. Was the 25th of April, right? 25th of April. For those that don't know, by the way, I started the podcast on the 21st of February. 21st of February, I started the podcast. I kind of want to go back and listen to my old podcast again, just to see how better I sound now. I feel like I've kind of improved massively. I feel like I improved massively now. I feel like my overall persona when I'm talking to people and interviewing them is just far better than what it was before. But yeah, 25th of April was the last one I recorded when I put it on Spotify. I feel like the YouTube one is probably not as long as that. Let me see videos. Streams. Oh. Yeah, looking at 3 months ago. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, either way, it's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, team, like I said, we're up to 9 viewers now. If you haven't already, please do like the stream. It helps the stream out massively. And if you aren't already, please do consider subscribing. I feel like we'll turn this into a sport pod. We'll try it. We'll try turning this into a sport pod. We'll see what happens with it. We'll see if it lasts. Let me just edit this and I'll change the title. I'm gonna change the title and then we're just gonna make this into a sport pod. Because I feel there's just a lot to talk about. I feel there's a lot to talk. There we go. Oh, and I need to... I've actually, believe it or not, I actually do have a thumbnail for this. Right? I actually have a thumbnail for this. I got it at Thingy to make me one, and here we go. Right? So if you leave the video and come back in, you will see the thumbnail in a few minutes. This always takes ages. This always takes ages. So that's updated. This always takes ages, man. There we go. So if I refresh that. Very cool. Either way. Right. Right, sorry, I need it's a bit different for anyone that hasn't streamed on YouTube and whatnot. I have both the stream and the OBS down here so that I can see you both, and it makes things a little bit easier because like things appear on YouTube before they appear on OBS, so it's a bit bizarre. Now we're doing a sport pod, which means I probably should be standing up. Who forgot about this then? Oh. Got to stand up. Oh. Oh, yes. Yes. We are standing. Right, music is turned down as we dive into a sport pod. So, categories we could actually... Well, there's so much to talk about, actually. There's so much to talk about. I feel this has made me look tiny, but oh well. This is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Right. Shall we record this? What do we think? Should give you a standing of it. Bloody hell. Didn't realize you stood up. Wow. Cunt. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I mean, James, that is a lot of, you know.
That's a lot of shite.
Yeah. To be fair, I was actually going to clip something you were saying the other day, and I can't remember what it was. Just clip your noise. What's this one again?
That's the whole thing knackered.
Bam, who's the midget? Shut up, Golden Man. Oh man. You know what? See if I just stand like back here. Like, fuck, I don't actually look any taller. I just look fatter. Shit. There we go. I look a little bit more taller now. Anyway. Right, we're going to do a sport pod, right? Because I feel like we're missing out on one. And obviously, what we're going to talk about, probably mainly, is going to be the football, right? There's a lot to talk about with the football-wise, a lot to kind of go over. There's just been so much that has happened over, like, this transfer. I mean, obviously, we're going to focus mainly on this season, the transfer window. We're going to forget about the fact that Arsenal missed out on top four, because, yeah. I mean, I don't know who's watched the All or Nothing series, but that it's something. It's you know what? No. The All or Nothing series is actually alright, right? The All or Nothing series is alright. It kind of like I felt the emotions again particularly that Newcastle game. The Newcastle game, I felt. The Spurs one, I kind of expected when that result came about. Like, I was like, well, we can take the hit here as long as we win the last two games. But the problem was we played Newcastle at probably the worst possible time to play Newcastle, and it was just nah. Did you see Forrest's bid for Morgan Gibbs White, 50 million? That is mental. Like, that is like meant. Like, give me a second, actually. Let me get some stats up on the screen for you, for just to show how mental this is. Because like he had an alright season, but he's not a £50 million player. This is what happens when hold on. Like his season is just. I'm trying to find where I get the stats from. I'll get stats from this probably. I just want to see what the stats were for last season. Match will that give me anything? No, he's played 2 games for Wolves this season. That's probably one of the reasons why they paid so much, is to just get him out of his contract. Can I see last season though? Can I see last season? Because he was at Sheffield last season, wasn't he? There we go. Right. So, just so we are aware, right? Forest, right, are paying 50 million. Right? Forest are paying 50 million for a player that I mean, let me just put this on the screen actually. I might need to move my camera out of the way. On this one. Yeah, I'm gonna need to move my camera out of the way. God damn it. Have I not grouped this? I actually haven't. Wow, I'm such a scuff. Who forgot how scuff I was? Yo, screw it. I'm just going to move this out of the way so you can see it. There you go, right? Last season, championship, he played 37 games, right? And he scored 12 goals and 10 assists, right? Does this seem like a £50 million player to you? I mean, did this seem like a 50 million? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't feel like a £50 million player. So they're massively overplaying. Now, yes. Right? He's English, right? And that always brings that always brings pressures that way, right? You can't help it. It always does. Now, he is only 22 years old, so that does stand a positive there, right? The fact he's only 22 years old is a positive. Doesn't make him 50 million. I would have said 35 million at the very, very most, and that is stretching it. I would have said 30 million maybe is probably where it's about. It's still maybe a bit expensive, but then you think they're investing in that player. 50 million is ludicrous. I mean, if we look at other teams' transfer windows, right? If we look at other teams' transfer windows, so, I mean, we got to talk about the train wreck that is Man United, right? We have to, because that team at the moment is just something that is. I mean, how do you even describe Man United? Like, how do you describe them right now? Like, they're just a mess. The where Arsenal were when Mikel Arteta took over, right? They're probably roughly around, they're probably worse right now, right? They're like one of these clubs that have tried going for names rather than the actual ability, and that is one of the problems. So they can get in Casemiro, and Casemiro's a world class player, But is he the actual answer? Is he the sustainable answer? And this is the problem. No, he isn't. He might win them a couple games, right? He might. But it doesn't seem right to me. What they should be looking at is looking at young players, right? That is what they should be looking at. They should be looking to sign loads of young players, looking at their academy and see if they've got the quality there, because they need to look at sustainability. They can't just keep going out and buying players for massive amount. I mean, they could, but the problem is at that point, if you're not generating the players with the academy, then you're having to buy players for every single position all the time, and this is the problem. Nah, they should definitely hand Maguire a 10-year contract. I mean, absolutely. How on earth Maguire is still at that club? I do not know. How Maguire is still at that club? I do not know. Was it 2 seasons he's had at Man United, and they've been absolute train wrecks? 2 years and they've been train wrecks. Like, I just like it's like they're just holding out to get the player that England get. This is what it feels like. It feels like they're holding it to get the player that England get, and this is where I'm kind of worried about why. Because Man United should not be as low as they are. They just shouldn't be. They spent the whole summer drilling over De Jong and said, "Oh, fuck off." Yeah, they just shouldn't be going for the big name. They should be going for players that they are realistically going to get. Take chances, risks on players that, like, okay, they might not set the team alight the first season, but maybe next season they're brilliant. They need players that compete. They should have gone for. Let me just think of a couple players at the top of my head. So maybe they should have gone for Mateta from Crystal Palace, right? There's a striker right there. Not the best striker they could have gone for, but one that's young and they could go for. They could have gone for the likes of, say if they wanted a Cam, they could have gone for Eze. I mean, that's just another Crystal Palace player just listing there. They could have gone for, let me just think of players in the Prem. The midfielder, maybe Ward Prowse, potentially could have been an option. But they do have Van der Beek, so they really need. They do need some players in that kind of centre mid position. I feel like Ward Prowse would have been very good. You think from set plays and having Ronaldo in the box, immediately like kind of helps straight away there. They're looking at the kind of likes of defenders. Cucurella obviously went to Chelsea. Why didn't Man United go for him? They should have been aggressive going for him there. They've got Brighton. They've got Lamete. They should have maybe gone for him if they're looking for fullbacks. He is a solid fullback. I'm just thinking of players in the Prem here. There's loads of options that they could go for that are risky, but they're not going to break the bank going for them at the point where the risk outweighs the reward potential. Like I said, realistically, they're going to sign any of those players, probably not. But like, it makes more sense to me to go for them than the world class ones because it's more sustainable. If they do well, then you look like a master straight away there. If they don't do well, then it's just like, oh, we all thought this wasn't going to work out, don't get me wrong, Man United have tried to do something similar before. They did sign Zaha a while back. They did sign Fellaini, taking a risk with him. Fellaini actually did score a couple goals, but yeah, no, it was still risky. And they did sign Sanchez, but that didn't work out either, So they have tried it before a little bit, but maybe not quite as much as maybe they should have. And they took a risk as well with Wan-Bissaka. I don't know if you can necessarily pin it all on Wan-Bissaka. I feel like he's been. This is what I don't get, right? This is something I really, really don't get, right? Wan-Bissaka has bad games, but gets removed from the team. Maguire has bad games, and genuinely costs several goals, and still keeps the captain armband and stays in the team? Like, does that make sense to anyone? Right? Does that make sense to anyone? I'm not saying Wan-Bissaka is like an unbelievable. I mean, he is a good player. He is. I mean, we saw it at Palace. So he is. There's a good player there. How he gets hit and Maguire doesn't, I don't know. Wan-Bissaka is better than Maguire when he joined. He completely dropped. Maguire is even protected everyone. I really don't get it. I really, really don't get it. It's just at some point you've got to say enough is enough. And it's, I mean, there's some exciting stuff with Man United with the likes of what's his face? I was literally just looking at him earlier on, a video that I was on him. Oh God, what's his name? Let's see, I'll find it 2 seconds because I was watching the video on him. Yeah, Jim Radcliffe. That's it, Jim Radcliffe. One of the richest people. If he was to buy Man United, he would be one of the richest people in the world. Now, I'll tell you something that maybe some of you don't actually know, right? I might tell you something that some of you might not actually know. What club do you think in the world right now, right, is in the most amount of debt, right? What do you think? Just chuck a couple teams at me, and who do you think is if you search this up, I don't think you'll actually get the right answer, by the way. But I can tell you without saying to Real Madrid, Barca, both very good shouts. Neither of them, right? Neither of them. What team do you think is in the most amount of debt right now? And it's gonna seem bizarre. Well, it's not, because it will make sense when I'll explain it, right? Juventus, Napoli, Inter. No, none of them. Right. I'll tell you, right? The team that is in the most amount of debt is Spurs. Right? Spurs right now have the biggest debt. But the difference is that their debt is held against the stadium. So therefore they pay very low interest on it, and their stadium is generating massive amount of income whenever they play there, because of all the the seats and stuff like that, and the packages they offer. So they're able to cover the interest rate really easily and pay it off quite easily. So therefore their debt isn't actually like impacting them that much. And because the stadium generates so much money that they don't need to worry about that debt. But they do actually have the most amount of debt of all the I think in the world right now, I think they have the biggest debt. But that in the world, I'm not sure. But in Europe, yes. The likes with Barca, their debt is not held against anything. It's more like it's held like between clubs, which is an issue, because obviously it took them a while to pay off Coutinho. That's just one player. And it's like Barca keep trying to get players by paying them in installments, but a lot of teams are now going, I don't know. But one of the reasons why so many teams want to keep Barca on their good side and do these deals is because Barca usually have the best players in the world, and when players are unhappy there, you want to be able to get a decent deal on them. So a lot of clubs want to keep their the relationship with these clubs rather quite good. So this is why they get these deals still. I mean, a lot of clubs are like the same, like the Real Madrid and Man United. They all do these installment deals and stuff like that, because like it makes sense for both parties. It makes it easier to pay them off for the club that's buying the player, and for the player, the team that's selling. It makes sense because you usually get maybe a bit more than what the player's actually worth. So it makes sense, and relationships are very important in football. So, yeah, it is there. I mean, the Liverpool one with Fulham, yeah, definitely. You see them all over the place. You'll see like there's teams that develop partnerships with other teams, and both teams flourish because of it. I mean, like, just name one that I know of in Scotland. Hibs and Edinburgh City have a partnership where Hibs give them basically their development players and pay their salary. So Edinburgh get half decent players for their league, and they don't. It's not a financial impact, but Hearts get first team football for these players, and hopefully that's a sustainable model. So it works. It works. For some reason, I feel like Real Madrid, Barca are all in a triangle. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean by that. I mean, what are our thoughts on Aubameyang, by the way? Aubameyang to Chelsea. What are our thoughts on that? Because that I feel like is a bit of a weird kind of transfer. I don't know if I think that's a... If Aubameyang was to move to Chelsea, I mean, I feel like he could be forgiven because he was the way he left Arsenal wasn't very clean. And he's maybe got a bit of unfinished business. I feel like it's a risk for Chelsea. I feel like it's a very big risk with Chelsea taking someone on at that age who, even I think in the last 3 games with Barca, he hasn't scored. So you're taking him on at a risk that you're going to have a player that's maybe a bit old with a huge wage that isn't going to score that many goals. But he is actually a focal point if he plays number 9. You do have the option with Aubameyang that you can play in the wing, but then you also have Sterling. So it's kind of where does he fit in that attack? It's where I'm maybe a bit confused, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if the deal even happens. I mean, Barca are still looking to keep him. Xavi still wants to keep hold of him. I think he's good for that league. I feel like going further afield, I think is just a waste of his time. I feel like he should stay at Barca and even retire there if he can. Because one of his biggest attributes was his speed. He's not nowhere near as fast as he was, which is unfortunate because he was really, really good. I feel like Arsenal and Chelsea have a partnership with how many players have gone born both shirts. Yeah. I feel like there's not a big rivalry between Arsenal and Chelsea. Like, there is one there because it's a local one, but it's not like we absolutely despise each other. Like, I just, like, I feel like, there's kind of a kind of little bit of respect on both sides. Because we, like, at one point, Arsenal and Chelsea were fighting for the title. So, I feel like there's maybe a little bit of respect there. Kind of maybe how you could say Liverpool and Man City have got that kind of respect between them, but obviously you still don't want the other team to do well. But you have that respect, the sense of this is your ultimate competitor. And you would probably have that respect going down the lane as well. I don't know if you necessarily agree on that one. I mean, that's maybe a bit of a controversial one. Whether or not you agree with that one or not. I'm going to get a drink. I'll give it a sec. Agreed. Yeah. I feel like there's maybe a bit... I think there's definitely good people that don't agree with that. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But... they hate each other because they're one up with each other. I'm not gonna lie, right? If City win a European trophy, I feel like Pep goes down as one of the best managers in the Prem, if he doesn't already. But I'm talking like Arsene Ferguson. Like, if I was going like top managers to be in the Prem, right? It's going Ferguson. It has to be. You can't have anyone else at the top. Then it has to be Wenger, right? Those two are kind of like that. They are the set positions. You can't really change them either way. And then for me, probably goes Mourinho. Just like the time he came in, the way he changed things, I feel like it's just like that. That's like you have to kind of put Mourinho. He's just a serial winner. He just is. As much as I don't like him, he is. The only team he didn't win anything with was Spurs, which is hilarious. And then you think you go down the next one. I think it has to be Pep. I think you think if we had prime Pep versus prime Jose wins? Oh, I don't know. Well, what are we saying is prime Jose? Are we saying prime Jose Real Madrid? Are we talking prime Jose Chelsea? I think it's 2005. Is it 2005, 2006? I can't remember. What are we saying is prime? What was it? You're saying Chelsea. I think Chelsea Pep wins. If we're saying Real Madrid, I think Jose wins because I think Mourinho wins because the players at Mourinho's time at Real Madrid. I mean, you're talking Ramos, you're talking Casillas, you're talking Ronaldo, talking Bale when he was good and playing. Alonso, Kaká, like, oh yeah, but there's you got Inter as well. I feel like What do you think about my question? If you think of all the British managers to have managed in the English Premier, in English football, who would you say is the best? I mean, we're saying British, then it's Alex Ferguson. If you're saying English, great shout. Mr. Fruit Lozenge. Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, in the last, like, kinda 15 years, if I can think of any. Like, the more recent ones, if I can. But I'm struggling. I mean, who at the moment, who's got the... Is there any British managers in, like, the kind of top section? There isn't one in the top 6, is there? The big 6. I mean, I think the nearest one's West Ham with David Moyes, but again, it's Scottish. We're trying to say English. Trying to think, where's the nearest English manager to the top? To Graham Potter. Yeah, I said it at the exact same time. Exact same time. To be fair, Graham Potter is a great manager. The way he's transformed Brighton is unbelievable. Like, I really, really rate that. He's got them playing, like, ridiculously good football. Wait, he's got them playing, like, ridiculously good football. It's kind of... I don't know. Put that there. Right. So yeah, we've kind of talking about managers there. It feels like Brighton draw every game this season. Yeah, finish like 12. I don't rate Lampard as a manager, to be honest. I feel like there's just there's like a disease in Everton right now. I don't feel like they've got a good behind the scenes. I think there's just something rotten to the core at Everton. And I felt like any manager that was going to go in that job, I said this when he took the job, he shouldn't have taken it, because it's like that one's just rotten to the core. I feel just didn't feel like he shouldn't have started. I feel like he did all right. He did all right at Chelsea, right? To clarify, he did okay at Chelsea. He didn't do awful. Like, he got the best out of some of the players, like the likes of Mason Mount. He gave him his chance and did amazing. Tammy Abraham did great. You know, yes, he lost a lot of the big results, but Chelsea just had a habit of being ruthless. Like, realistically, if he was given more time at Chelsea, he would have succeeded. And this is the thing. Like, it's like, I don't feel like he should. There was like, but you got to remember when he was sacked, there was there was a divide. A lot of people wanted him to stay. A lot of people wanted him to go. People that wanted him to go were the ones that were used to the Abramovich era. The ones that didn't want him to go were the ones before it, right? And this is something that like I kind of think about a lot, right? We're in an era right now where people are just used to having managers come and go like that, instant. I mean, it happens at like my team, Livingston, all the time, right? So, kind of to just give you a background, right? So, Livingston is currently managed by David Martindale. Now Martindale is someone from Livingston, right? He is. And he went to prison when he was younger, due to drugs. And came back to kind of Livingston. Got his badges. And he joined the club when it was in League One, I think. It was either League One or it was Championship before we went down to League One, right? And when he was assistant head coach, right, the club didn't have a lot of money, right? They didn't. And basically, when there was nobody, when we were low money, basically Martindale did a lot of the maintenance. He would get a tool belt out and start like hammering, like, doing repair work on the stadium and whatnot, all of his own back, right? We get promotion up to the Premiership. He's assistant head coach all the way up. We then go into the Premiership without a manager. Kenny Miller takes charge temporarily. Doesn't work out immediately. Then we get Holt, who did okay. He did all right. But then once he left, Martindale got his chance. David Martindale got his chance once Holt left, and he's been there ever since. And he's been one of the constants ever since. And he's been there on the rise for Livingston for a while. The problem is now, whenever Livingston go on a bad run, people are then asking for him to be sacked. Now, Livingston do not have a lot of money. We're in a kind of phase right now on where people think that if the team's not performing, it's the manager's fault. You need to get him out and get someone else in, without even thinking of who they get in instead. And this is one of the issues that sometimes happens with all teams. People just call to axe the manager without thinking about who do you get in instead. This is one of the problems United had, because you could have sacked Ole, but then who do you get in instead? And like there was obviously that debate with like Conte and like Rangnick and stuff like that. Mohamed Rangnick was very bizarre and shouldn't have happened, but it did. So yeah, it is what it is. We're just in this weird phase where we all think the best thing to do is just sack the manager, just get him gone, and that's it. And it's bizarre. Completely opposite. I want to. Well, there you go, Square. That's definitely that's definitely an angle. I respect Rangnick, to be honest. I don't know if I do, right? because it was always going to be one of those things that if he had succeeded in his interim management, then he would have been manager. If he didn't, then it was just one of these things where United could wash their hands of him if it didn't work, and it wouldn't have been that big of impact. And it was kind of like they wanted to go very, 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 very safe. And I don't get it, man. I don't. It was just such a bizarre decision for them to get him in that consultant role. It just didn't make sense. But this is what I'm on about. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we talked about United earlier on, just saying what they should do with their recruitment. They haven't got an actual strategy with their recruitment. This is one of the problems. They should be looking at young players, looking for maybe like deal with the fact you're going to be mediocre for the next two seasons. Build for 2 seasons time, right? That is what you should be looking at, because once you get to those 2-season mark and you've continued to build for 2 seasons time, then you've got a sustainable model. The reason you don't build for next season is because a lot can happen. You build for 2 seasons, and that way you know as well, if you've got players that are trying to run the contracts down, you can get them out the door before they run out. You should always build with 2 seasons in mind for a sustainable model at a Premier League club. That doesn't always work when you're at smaller clubs. So if you're in a club with small budgets and stuff like that, sometimes you just have to go build for next season, or even just look at the season that you're currently in, season by season. You can't afford to put people on longer contracts because you don't know what the situation is going to be like. So yeah, that's what they should do. Let's look at some other teams. Let's look at Arsenal. What are Gabriel Jesus is looking decent. Zinchenko, should say. Just saying the fact we signed the old Chelsea striker. I mean, I like how I pick out Chelsea of his entire time. But yeah, he's looking like a decent signing. Arsenal and City until nah, not yet. We're still a season behind. I think before we can really realistically look at something like that. Like, Spurs are probably a season ahead of us. However, if we can get the luck of the draw and be level with them this season, we'll blow them out of the water. But that is dependent on whether or not we can compete with them this season. I feel like we can. I mean, when we're talking about Man United, Spurs' transfer window has been mad. But I feel like they maybe overdone it. a little bit and haven't really focused on maybe one or two of the areas they should have focused more heavily on. Do you think it's worth playing Zinchenko in midfield when Tierney is fit? It depends who's fit in the midfield, to be honest. If Partey isn't fit, then yes. Xhaka in the midfield is growing on me. However, I still feel he's very risky. However, if Arteta can get, the problem is if Xhaka gets a red card this season, which I feel is a very big likely scenario, I don't rate Tierney. Nah, Tierney is like genuinely our best fullback. We tried to play Tavares over him, and we were proved how good Tierney actually is. Tierney is our best defensive fullback. He is. He's also really good going forward, but for an actual defending fullback, which you just don't see very much. This is why maybe you don't rate him as much, because you compare him to other fullbacks, and the modern day fullback is all about going forward. Tierney is very good defensively, which is why we went on that massive clean sheet run when he was in the team. When he came out of the team, we started conceding goals again. Zinchenko adds a lot to the squad. However, he's not very good defensively. If I'm being honest, from what I've seen, he's not very good defensively. But he is very good going forward. He's very technically good. Which is something that we're really going to benefit from. because he's just really intelligent footballer. He's just defensively he's lacking, which is an issue. I mean, we could very well see the return of Tierney at centre back, which would be unreal for our Ultimate Team. But we could very well see the return of Tierney at centre back. Because he did play there for a period when it was White, Gabriel and Tierney. Yeah, Jordan Ayew rinsed them, but Jordan Ayew rinsed Tavares. I remember that. Like, so if you it's honestly one of the worst defending I've seen from a defender. That Jordan Ayew against Tavares, man. It's just he gave up, man. Just gave up. Like, come on, man. Come on, you're a Premier League defender here. You're a Premier League defender. It's just like Jesus, man. We remind your team as well, if you are kicking in the stream, please do like the stream because every like helps. And if you aren't already, remember to subscribe. It does all help the channel massively. Every subscription. And guess what? It's all free. It helps. But yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. But you got to remember, it's different standard league. Like, one of the reasons we signed Tavares was how good he was for Benfica against us. I think that was one of the reasons why we signed him. Because we're looking at it going, wow, this guy's actually quality. He's got see, going forward, he's actually very good, Tavares. But he is absolutely useless defending. He really is. He's got no upper body strength. Which is what's like worrying when you see it. He's got no balance and stuff like that. It's just like, come on, man. Like, you can see it in him. You can see it, and it's just not quite there. Yeah, we're up to 7 likes. Come on, team. Come on, team. Yeah, up to 8 likes. 8 likes. You're all madmen. You're all madmen, man. Come on. Well, our subscribers are on 1, 2, 3. Come on, come on. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. But yeah. In fairness, he's playing wing back for Marseille, which is definitely his natural position. Not a full back at all. I mean, he played full back for... well, actually, no. Benfica did play 3 back, actually, now I think about it. Because Benfica had Otamendi, Vertonghen, and then they had another centre back. So, yeah. You have Sword and Shield, right? Big code you need to redeem ASAP. Right, I'll get on that after the stream. We're doing a little sport pod at the moment, Pom. Fancy to talk about United? How mad would it be if United actually do get taken over by Jim Radcliffe? We're best in the league if we get a competent striker. I mean, I can't say I know an awful lot about Derby, but the problem is Derby's been a bit 5 billion for a minority share, but he would be the 4th richest owner in the Premier League. So 5 billion, it's a hell of a lot of money. It depends how much he wants it. Depends how much he wants it. And as a club, Man United is worth that. So he wouldn't own the entire club. Yeah. So though, we've got to wait and see, isn't it? Like, the Glazers could finally get out of the ridicule that they get from United. It depends how much it actually affects them. Probably not an awful lot, but it depends. I don't know. They might just want out after a while. Who knows? Who knows? He is the richest person in the UK, yeah. He would be it's kind of mad, but I'll have to wait and see. I mean, in fairness, it looks like the Casemiro deal could be actually happening, which I did not believe. from what Fabrizio Romano's reporting, it looks potential. Forest, yeah. What is going on with Forest, by the way? How have they got so much money? Like, what the hell is going on with Nottingham Forest? Like, did someone want to check their accounts for me? For also to spend 50 million as well, it's like, what the hell? I mean, I know obviously they get funds from promotion, but I just don't remember another team getting promotion. I just don't remember another team getting promotion and spending this kind of money. I mean, I don't know. Can any of you think of a team that got promotion and spent this kind of money? Like maybe Fulham a few years ago. I don't know. Fulham's the one that I can think of. Isn't the owner minted? I love that phrase. Isn't the owner minted though? He's more than just minted, mate. He is banging the money in Owen, man. I love that phrase. Isn't the owner minted? I absolutely love that. Oh dear. The owner is that, yeah. Prem is literally the Super League with the amount of money going right. Yeah, I mean, the Prem's never been any different that way. Prem's never been any different that way. So, you know, Prem's never been any different. So what can we say? But yeah, here's something for you, right? Here's something for you. Now, I don't know how much we'll talk about this, but Dele Alli, right? Not really working for him at Everton. Potential on the way to Besiktas. Is that the right move for him? Right? Should he actually go to the Turkish league? Or, and this was suggested, right? He should go to Rangers instead. Right? Oh yeah, I know exactly the one you're on about, mate. The fact that I just went, I know exactly the one you're on about means there's more. What? Yeah, honestly, like, what do you think? Nah. If Rangers actually do get in the Champions League, then that could be like he could be the main man. Well, maybe not the main man, but he could try and be an integral. If he put it this way, the amount of people that go to Scotland and then just kind of revive the career. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? If it wasn't to work at Rangers, that would be his career like firmly over at that point. Right? Dele Alli the next, Aaron Ramsey. Oh god. Yeah, how'd that work out for Ramsey? I mean, he was very injured. The problem was he was injured. Yeah, the timing, yeah. Like, he was injured quite heavily, so we never really saw Ramsey. But we already knew that he was injury prone, so it was always a risk. We loved him at Rangers if he did well. Don't see him doing well, to be honest. There's a lot of people that have gone to Scottish League and done awful. However, you do get the players that do well in the Scottish League and then get a decent move back. So it's kind of whether or not they can do it or not. And there's just different kind of pressure Like, you go to Rangers, you have got the expectations of probably like some like Man City, but the quality in the league is significantly less. But the expectation is ridiculous. So it's kind of like, although the expectation is actually probably Chelsea. Now I think about it, the expectation is probably Chelsea because Chelsea have mad expectations, and you gotta think that they are ruthless at Chelsea. So yeah, and you know what? I'd probably say like expectation wise at Rangers would be, and it goes the same as Celtic. They have the same kind of expectations. It's kind of win the league or bust, really. The only reason I think Rangers got away with it is because they got the European final. And that's why like a lot of the players were like kind of given a pass. But in general, Rangers were not great in the league last season. Ramsey bagged this day, but yeah, he did okay at spells. And Diallo, I mean, Diallo should never have gone to the Scottish League. He's just not the type of player that would do really well in the Scottish League. He was never going to do well, because like the Scottish League is just, it's so like physical, like strength wise, rather than stamina and speed. Like if you're fast, you do okay, but the league is not about you being fast. It's about you being strong. That's the difference. In the Premier League, you have to be fast. You have to be fast. He's lazy and underperforming. Yeah. I mean, in fairness, is Diallo even made the bench for United this season? Or has he been loaned out again? I haven't really paid attention to know. I don't really know at the moment. I mean, I really wish United would put more faith in their young players, like pull more academy players out on the field, because the ones that are currently there are just not doing the job. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, United don't have a European football this season, so like, or wait, do they? They might. I can't remember. They might have Europa actually. Now I think about it. United are just awful at progressing youth players. Yeah, well, they never used to be. They used to be one of the best. Yeah, if it is Paul, right? Here, I want your thoughts on this because we discussed this earlier, right? Wan-Bissaka, right? Obviously proved out Crystal Palace he was a good player and stuff like that. Comes to United, doesn't do amazing, right? Like has really good moments, but obviously has bad games, gets dropped and gets ridiculed heavily. Maguire costs the team many games and yet still gets in the team, right? Like I'm understanding why Wan-Bissaka gets the axe and Maguire doesn't. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying like Wan-Bissaka's not deserving of losing his place. It's just like what's going on. it's so bizarre. No, you got Europa. I thought so. Yeah. Diallo and Wan-Bissaka, two cheeks of the same arse. Nah, Diallo's not that bad, to be fair. He has photos of Joe Glazer. The problem is you could have unbelievable. You could have such good players in that back line, but they're made to look bad because Maguire keeps playing. This is like you. Problem is like, see if a player's bad in midfield, right? They can hide. You can't hide when you're a defender, right? You can't. Your job is to get in the way, so you cannot hide. If you hide, you're gone. If you're midfield, you can hide. I mean, Meta also did it. Well, he did it when they had to defend. Which I should add is, I watched the Arsenal under 21s game where Fabio Vieira played, and he just seems to be the exact same as Ozil, like the type of player. And I'm kind of wondering why we've signed them, because we have Odegaard and Smith Rowe. So, like, where is he meant to play? Or unless obviously I should add, this is only one game and it wasn't even a Prem game, so like judging him on that obviously is a bit unfair. But I find it very bizarre. I find it very, very bizarre that we signed them. I know we need depth, but like I don't know. Yeah, he was. Yeah, yeah, he was because I think I remember like I don't know if it was you, Andy, that I was in a party with at the time, right? But I was talking about we're on FIFA at the time. I was like looking at right backs, and I think I was speaking about Diallo, and I was like, "Oh, he looks really good." And then someone pointed out the fact that he played for he was on loan from United, and I couldn't work out why he was on loan if he was doing so well for Milan. I think it was you. I can't remember. Odegaard doesn't move me that much. Doesn't perform well enough against the big teams. I mean, he did well against Chelsea last season. He does do well, but like last season was a bit of a. You know what, Square, I get where you're coming from, because I didn't. I think I said this to Pomp as well, as I didn't particularly rate Odegaard when he was on loan, because I was like, he feels like a luxury player. It feels like a Meta Ozil situation all over again, because he just doesn't seem. But the one thing he does that Ozil never did was he tracks back. He tracks back, and he puts in a shift. And for that alone, he becomes more valuable, because like it's all well and good being able to do really well with the ball, but if you can't do anything without the ball, then it becomes a problem. Unless you have world class players all around you, like that are going to get you the ball, you're kind of stuck. And Bob, I've got another question for you, because we again discussed this earlier on the podcast. Prime Mourinho. Now I should add, I asked about what was Prime Mourinho, right? But we're just taking this from the Prem, right? So Chelsea title winning Jose Mourinho, or Prime Pep. Who's winning? Right? Jose all day long. I kind of said if it's in the Prem, I'm taking Pep. But if we're talking Real Madrid, which I think is prime Jose, then it's got to be Jose Mourinho. But in the Prem, I just feel like this Man City team is just ridiculous. And although you think of that Chelsea team, you think of Jose made Pep Rage quit his boyhood club. I mean, like, and this is not a dig at your age, Pomp, by the way, I should add, but you will remember it better than any of us. That season that Mourinho came to the because you are the oldest. But yeah, goals conceded in the season. Was that the season? It was John Terry and Carvalho. I don't know. I can't remember if it's that season. It was Carvalho there. Oh my god, my memory is awful. Very, very good with good players. So he's good with everybody. I don't remember. It's been so long now, I'm trying to remember if that was a season Carvalho was there, or if oh man, Jose would win a game against Pep, but I think Pep would win the league. If you get what I mean. I feel like the other way round is actually more likely. Oh, I don't know actually. No, because Mourinho was a serial winner, particularly in knockout games. I'm pretty sure he's never lost a final, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That Real team. I mean, you think like I was saying it earlier. Yeah. Like, but this is also where we had the debate as well, Pom. It's like, what is Prime Mourinho? Prime Mourinho? Is it Real Madrid? Is it Chelsea? Is it Inter? Do you even go Porto? But like, like I mean, you don't go Porto. Let's be serious. But Inter, was unreal. There was obviously Chelsea, and then obviously Real Madrid. It's just like one was probably obviously he's kind of dropped off a bit now. But I don't know necessarily it's the fact he's dropped off. I think it's just there's a lot more high quality man. Oh, do I say that? Traffic of the managers back then, you got Alex. Oh yeah, I don't know, man. It's thinking back. It's thinking back then is really difficult. Like trying to think back to then is just my mind. I'm scratching my head. But yeah, that Chelsea team honestly was unreal. I mean, like we were saying, like looking at it, probably this is where you could probably come in as well. We were also talking about, the best managers in the Prem. It has to go Alex Ferguson. Has to be top, but he has to be, and then it has to be Wenger next, right? Those two are kind of non-negotiable. Then for me it goes Mourinho, even if it's not necessarily for the fact that, even if it's not for the fact that like his more recent Prem ventures, it's for what he did before. And then it's Pep for me, and then we could probably go he did a good job with Spurs. I did all right. Both will forever be better. There's a great spelling of Aberdeen, by the way. Pump. Aberdeen. Aberdeen. Sounds more Scottish, actually. You somehow made Aberdeen sound more Scottish. Aberdeen. Like spending $1 bill to win the league. That's what. Or in fairness, this is where I kind of agree with oh good sake, Simon Jordan. Like the fact that Abramovich ruined football in that way. Like it was always going to end up this way, right? We before like I like go into this, right, it was always going to end up this way. Money was always going to like take over football. It always was. It's just Abramovich accelerated it. Like you remember how everyone you remember how outrageous everyone thought that Torres transfer was. And I always remember the news article, right? I mean, Paul will definitely remember this. The news article where they were compared the transfer to Fredo's, how many Fredos you could get for 50 million. like that was one of the biggest things I was compared. It's like this guy just like, oh yeah, you get this many Fredos for Torres, because that's the first big transfer I remember, and like Abramovich ruined kind of football from that perspective, but it was always going to end up this way. It just accelerated it. just accelerated. Like maybe now we would only just get into the 100 million mark with transfers instead of hitting it before with Bale. I think Bale was the first ever 100 million transfer, if I'm not mistaken. It was either him or Neymar, but I think it was Bale, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, you know what? I've enjoyed the stream. It's like I always wanted to go back and do a sport pod. It was, but yeah, I was always convinced it was Bale. I just couldn't quite remember. Team as well, please do remember, do like the podcast as well. It does help liking, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe as well. You know, make sure that you subscribe. It does help. It's all free. I think Ronaldo was 100 million in certain currency. All right. Like, we were risking football ending up like NFL being forced to go down a draft system, and this system is unsustainable. Yeah. Yeah, the money that is in football right now is worrying, isn't it? It is really worrying. I don't know. Like, I feel like a draft system would kill football. I think it would kill football in many ways because I feel like it would lose a lot of interest. I feel like the fact that you can buy players is it's so. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. Wouldn't mind there being an all-star game. That would be, you know what? I'd kind of be up for that in some ways. Average centre mid is 60, 80 mil. I mean, Pomp, the Forest transfer for 50 million is madness, isn't it? It's absolutely madness. Even a mid-table Prem team is going to struggle. You know what? While we're here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Discord up and we're going to go through the predictions again. I'm going to go through the predictions and kind of see where we sit with them all. Computer, there we go. Right, so predictions. I can't really zoom this in anymore, can I? I probably could, but aye. So Spurs Wolves. Spurs at home. You gotta back them. It's gotta be a Spurs win, isn't it? This Discord's still going strong, mate. Still going strong. Yeah, you have to be more specific. You hear that your Discord is broken? Damn. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the got a guy argued with. I can't remember it. Probably, to be honest, Probably you argue with a lot of people. It's hard to keep track. You argue with a lot of people. It's hard to keep track of who you argue with. You love it. You know what? I'm convinced you love an argument. I'm convinced that you love an argument. I'm convinced that you love it. Right. What's your I don't do fantasy Premier League. The problem is I never keep it up. This is the problem. The guy was making out that his point was more valid than. I still don't remember who it was. To be fair, we have gone down in members a little bit, So there's a good chance they're maybe not there, but aye. Yeah, I'm awful with fantasy Premier League. Never came up. But yeah, let's look at the results. So, Spurs, Wolves. For me, I feel like Wolves haven't really recruited enough this season, so I'm going 4-0 Spurs. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. I'm going 1-1 there. I feel like it's going to be a draw. I feel like Villa will get the draw late on. Everton, Nottingham Forest. Everton not playing particularly great. Forest on the up. I don't know. I something. I feel like Everton might snatch something. I don't think they'll play well, but I feel like they might just snatch a win. Bloody hell, Rufus is at it again, man. I feel like they might snatch it. Fulham, Brentford. I mean, Brentford did just win against Man United. Confidence is high. However, Fulham, I think, are probably the best out of the bunch, out of the teams that came up. So I'm leaning towards Fulham. I think I'm leaning towards Fulham here. Leicester, Southampton. I think Southampton are one of the teams, right, that I am backing for relegation. Right? Southampton are one of the teams I'm backing for relegation this season. I just don't think they've recruited smartly. I feel like it's just not worth. And I feel like a dark horse for relegation is even potentially Leicester because they have not signed a single player, which I do not get. I don't get, and they're looking at selling players. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it with Leicester. They've not signed a single player. All the teams around them have improved except for them. So they'll be bottom half of the table, I have no doubt. But relegation, I think it may be a dark horse for relegation, if I'm being honest. In this game, I'm going draw. I think, yeah, I'm going draw here again. Bournemouth, Arsenal. You know what? Arsenal don't have a good record at Bournemouth, right? I need to point that out. Arsenal don't have a good record. Like, I'm pretty sure it's been like late draws, losses. We don't have a good record here. However, I feel more confident for this one than I have done with previous ones. So in this one, I am backing Arsenal to win. However, I feel like we're going to concede. So I feel like 2-1. I don't think it'll be a very convincing performance, but I feel like we'll get the job done. So I feel like 2-1. And I feel like Bournemouth will score first, if I'm being honest. I feel like they'll get the first goal. What else was I saying? So Leeds, Chelsea. Leeds at home. Chelsea haven't played particularly great, except for the game against Spurs. Leeds do leak chances, but do I feel like Sterling is going to take them? No, you what? I'm going Chelsea. I think. I was tempted to maybe put a draw, but I feel like it has to be Chelsea. I feel like on that one, 2-0 Chelsea. I think. Leeds are getting hit with injuries again. By the way, I should add. This is the other issue. Leeds are getting hit with injuries again, and that's what screwed them last time. I think Forest have to stay up. They don't stay up with the amount of investment they put in. It's madness. West Ham, Brighton. I'm going Brighton. And I see Pomp's gone Brighton as well. I feel like you've just got to back Brighton. I feel like Graham Potter is just he's just, for me, he is the new Eddie Howe, right? You know how everyone was saying, oh, Eddie Howe needs a big team. Graham Potter needs one. I feel like the first manager to get sacked out of the Big Six needs to look at Graham Potter. Right? I think they have to. I think what he's done with Brighton is just unreal. Yes, 100%. I mean, right. I'm going to talk about this briefly, right? Because I still want to finish this. I'll finish this and then we'll go back to that. Remind me, we'll go back to that game because I really want to talk about that for a second, right? But yeah, back in Brighton there. I'm going to say Brighton are going to win 3-0. 3-0, I actually think. I have a lot of confidence in Brighton. Newcastle, Man City. Newcastle didn't play particularly well in their last game. However, they are at home. I feel it's maybe going to be a 2-0 win, Man City, I think. I don't think it'll be like a really, really big, massive smashing, but I feel like 2-0. Man United, Liverpool. This score is difficult to predict. Look, Man United will step up. They will. Right? I don't think they'll concede an early goal. But to be fair, Liverpool haven't been very convincing of late either. However, I just feel that they'll edge it, and I feel like it'll maybe be 2-0 Liverpool, I think. I was going to say 2-1, but I don't have that much confidence in Man United to score. If I'm being honest. So I feel like 2-0 is a realistic result. Yeah, I feel like, yeah. Right, we'll go to Scottish League. We'll get this out of the way, and then we'll do we'll go back to the Spurs Chelsea game, right? Hibs Rangers. Hibs are awful right now. So Rangers 3-0. United Dundee United St Mirren. Dundee United. I've been struggling of late, but I'm gonna say 1-0 Dundee United. Motherwell Livingston 2-2 draw, I think. I think it's got a 2-2 draw written all over it. Ross County Kilmarnock. Ross County not playing particularly well. Kilmarnock on the up. However, I feel like this could be Ross County's first win of the season. So I'm gonna do 2-1. Ross County. St Johnstone Aberdeen. Aberdeen have actually looked quite strong, so I think maybe a 1-0 win away for Aberdeen. I don't think there'll be a very convincing one, but I think it'll be that. Celtic, Hearts. Hearts playing in Europe tonight. They'll get that Thursday hangover. I think it's going to be a comfortable 4-0 win for Celtic. So yeah, that's my predictions for this. Going back to that Chelsea Spurs match, the first goal, I can live with that one going in, right? I can. I know obviously with Charlie. Hold on, let's go for web. Right, the first goal I can live with, right? The offside and whatnot, I can live with that. I cannot understand how there's no foul on Cucurella with the hair pull. How that's not a red card. Like, I don't get it. Like, could you imagine if someone had a long beard and someone had grabbed the beard down? That 100% would have been a red card, wouldn't it? So why is it different from the hair at the back? And I don't get, mate. It's different if you're grabbing a shirt, right? You're grabbing a shirt, you know, like it's part of the game. Grabbing someone's hair, that can cause some serious damage. Like that, there's no intent of playing the ball there. There's no intent of playing the ball. That is assault. That is like you could pull the person's hair out at that point, right? There's no intention to play the ball. Your intention at that point is to hurt your opponent. if you're going in to hurt your opponent, it's malicious. If it's malicious, it's a red card. Like, I don't understand it. I just don't. How can you grab someone's hair and it not be a red card? Like, see if you grab the hair and it's an accident, fair enough, right? If you go, oh, sorry, and you let go immediately, fair enough. This was a proper yank down, right? This wasn't like just a little grab. This was like full fist grab pull. Like, I just don't understand it, and I should add, you're doing that to Cucurella. Like, when's he scored a header? Very good on the wing and whatnot, but doesn't typically score headers. So why are you pulling him down with his hair? Oh, man, that made me so angry when I saw that. Right, that made me so angry. Yeah, have you seen what Mike Dean said about it earlier? No, I haven't. No, what did he say? Oh man, it made me so angry when I saw. I don't know. What were your thoughts on that, guys? What were your thoughts? I could I could live with the first one because the first one, we've seen them. The second one is, honestly, I'm losing the words for it. It is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious, man. Like, it gets me angry. Said at the time he didn't see it as. He said at the time he didn't see it as violent. I'm sure I'd go grab his hair, but he hasn't got any, so, like, he can't relate and say, oh, it is violent. He hasn't got any hair. Oh, man. He admitted it was a mistake, did he? Oh, man, it makes me angry, man. I mean, Pop, you had long hair. If someone had grabbed your hair, you would have punched them, wouldn't you? Because guess what? If they had grabbed your hair, mate, you would have taken it as a sign of aggression, as a malicious act. It's a red. Oh man, gets me angry. Could you tell? I've had it happen. Yeah, I mean, yeah. As I said before, Pop, I think you love an argument, so I'm not surprised. You're probably winding him up in the game. But, just the casual, the Mean Machine quote here, right? There's just the casual, the toe stamp, bang, bang. Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Didn't see you there. Or the what was the one the monk does? Where you help them up, but you grab them by the armpit hair. What a movie that is, by the way. Mean Machine. Love that film. Quality. Doesn't matter though. Won't give those 2 points back to Chelsea. I mean, it's one of the reasons we love football, isn't it? Because it is controversial. It's easy to talk about. There's so much that happens, but yeah, that stamp looked casual. No one would have noticed. Yeah, I mean, Ben, you're a Chelsea fan. I mean, you must have been absolutely raging about that Cucurella hair pull. Like, you must have been raging. I mean, don't get me wrong. Afterwards, obviously, header goes in. In fairness, it's probably a good result for Arsenal. Match fixing, that's all. But all of a sudden ended up in the Serie A. God damn it. Oh, dearie me, man. Actually, no, Pombo, you were. I think you were probably the player to throw a cheeky elbow, because I'm pretty sure if I'm. Can't wait for the reality check for Arsenal fans. Yeah, well, look, you know what? If we win the game, so I mean, Arsene Wenger was a master at winning the games he was supposed to win. So, against all the lower teams and stuff like that, he was master at winning those games. He struggled against the big six. But the thing is, if you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, the ones that are below you, that will get you top four. Right? They will. Like if you pick up the odd point against the big six, great, but that will get you top four. Because realistically, they are going to slip up against each other, and they're also going to slip up against maybe one of the other teams. But if you win the games you're supposed to, then happy days. That's how Arsene Wenger got top four. He was the master at doing that. If we can win the games we're supposed to, all the teams that are below us and the big six, if we can take some points to them, great. But the idea is to get into the top four, and that is difficult. That it's difficult because Spurs have improved really well. Chelsea, I don't know. I don't know if they've improved, to be honest with you. I feel they've kind of maybe been a bit up and down. I don't know. I don't know if they have improved, if I'm being honest. Like, Sterling, I think, is good, but they still haven't really got a striker. Like, you play Havertz at striker, but he's not actually a striker. You play the false nine, maybe. But I do highly rate Thomas Tuchel as a manager, so don't know. But the problem for me is if Chelsea get a couple injuries, I just feel like the team it just goes. I feel like it just goes, but the defense has improved. Koulibaly, he had a couple shaky moments, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he didn't look bad at all in that Spurs game. I mean, obviously, like, let's face it. Well, I say top two will be Man City and Liverpool. If Liverpool don't improve, well, at the moment, they've had 2 draws in the league. They've already slipped up twice. I don't know. Something about it. There seems to be a sting taken out of the team, Liverpool. I mean, will they finish second is a real question. I think they could finish third. I think Spurs potentially could finish second. Potentially. Not that I want to say that, but like I feel there's a chance. And obviously, 4th spot is really between obviously Arsenal and Chelsea. If I'm being honest, it's Arsenal and Chelsea really. And Chelsea have improved their defense. It's their attack that kind of I'm not sure about. Like, Sterling was a good signing, right? Let's clarify that. Sterling was a good signing. I mean, he's better than Pulisic. He's better than what they currently already had. They had better than Ziyech. But they still haven't signed that key striker. And they could go for Aubameyang, but Aubameyang's getting a bit, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't scored in his last 3 for Barca either. So that's a worrying signing. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they could pay the 30 million that Barca won, and it's great, but he's not a striker. Yeah, that's the thing. He's not a striker. Like, you need someone that's going to score your goals. I mean, in fairness, you have that striker that was at Southampton last season that you could maybe try and work with. I don't know. I don't think people necessarily underestimated Mane, but they knew. But Liverpool fans definitely knew that it was not going to last forever with Mane and Salah, and that it was probably Mane that was going to go. So they needed a replacement. And in fairness, they do have Jota, and they do have Diaz as well. So they do have players there. They just need someone to step up and replace Mane properly. My money's on Diaz, but we'll wait and see, won't we? Yeah, like Mane was unreal, and in fairness, he scored in his Bundesliga debut. Liverpool's midfield is the problem. Yeah, they're light in midfield. They need to go all out between now and the end of the window getting Jude Bellingham. Borja looks okay. Doesn't seem like the type that will get the goals. To be honest, I feel like you should just get Tammy Abraham back. Yous have a buyback clause on Tammy Abraham. Like, for me, I would just get him back. Because like he'll get you what 18, 19 goals. Because I'm pretty sure that was what he was on when he left, which is decent. Like that's not a bad return from a striker. And if you put it on your side, I feel if yous were to get Tammy, I feel that the yous would be in the pole position for fourth. It's the striker that worries me a little bit. I feel like there was games you're going to lose it by not having that striker. I mean, what was the first game of the season you had? Everton, and you won 1-0. But Everton were the better team. Which is that worried me a bit, because when Everton are the better team, you're kind of like, I think it was Everton. I just remember watching Chelsea first game of the season, and they weren't amazing. Ivan Toney. Ooh, you know what? That's a decent shout. That's a decent shout. Ivan Toney. I mean, it's got to cost you though. You got to think of English tax as well. Like, if they get Morgan White for Morgan Gibb White or whatever his name, I forget, for 50 million, Ivan Toney's probably 70, I think. Because you got to think of English tax. You got to think they're selling within the Prem. 70 million for Ivan Toney, probably. I mean, I don't know how many years he's still got in his contract. But, and in fairness, actually, he is actually getting on a bit, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he's like 29 or something. I need to double check this. I'm pretty sure he's not young. Oh, no. He's, what, 26? 26, you know what? 70 million for a 26-year-old that does score goals. You know. That's not... Let's see, last season, for... Now, we should add this is for Brentford, which don't have the same creativity. Yes, they had Ericsson, but in 33 matches, he got 12 goals, 5 assists. You know. This season, he's 1 goal, 2 assists, but in fairness, one of those games was a 4-0 win. For me, 70 million for Ivan Toney, I would go for. Personally, yeah, I would. I think that would work for Chelsea. I feel like it's better investment going forward. I think that's a good fit, but I think that was a good shout, Square. I think it was a good shout. Looking at him. So yeah, no, I 100% agree. And that kind of solves the problem as well. So, you know, if they were to get him, happy days. And team as well, please do remember, if you are new around here, please do subscribe and like the stream as well, because it does all help out massively. Used to be amazing with chatting in the stream, by the way. It has really helped. This has had a really good chat rate. I'm just checking some of the stats from the stream. You're doing class. Really helping me out with this one. Toney wouldn't be bad. The only thing is he doesn't have the fitness levels to be thrown into potentially double the games he is used to. I mean, having him is better than not having him. So, yes, if you got risk, I mean, it means that you sub him off. It means that you only play 60. So, Livingston, for example, right? I mean, I know obviously comparing the two is like, you know, it you know, you shouldn't really be comparing them, but Livingston, believe it or not, they play with a striker who has really bad diabetes, right? He has really bad diabetes. He cannot play full 90 minutes, right? This is true, right? So he has really bad diabetes. He cannot play at full pelt for 90 minutes because basically he comes off more or less. and he's really, really good. But this is one of the biggest hinders. However, Tony could be pretty much the exact same. Him and Abraham don't really fit Chelsea styles for the same reasons Lukaku didn't work. That is a good point. That is a very good point. Because, yeah, they didn't fit the style, did they? You know, it affected the... yeah, you're absolutely right on that one, mate. You're absolutely right. Who are you on about with it? So, Bruce Anderson for Livingston. Striker. Really, really good. Can't play full 90 minutes because of his condition, which is quite sad because he's a very good player. Like, he is actually probably a couple levels above us, but teams probably won't want to risk the fact that they have to play can only play a striker for maybe like 70 minutes a game. And then there's also the risk of a previous one because it's like something like I'll try and work it out. I think it's like because he can't really take the energy gels and stuff like that because of the high glucose levels and stuff like that. So he has to be really, really careful. With like kind of boosting his energy and stuff like that. It's a shame because he is very, very good. Like, he's miles better than what we are. Like, he should be playing for Rangers or Celtic or even like either Championship or low Prem. He's very, very good, but no one's going to risk that. Like that's the problem. He's got, and fair play to him. Fair play to him. He is playing. He's playing at a high level with this condition. I think Nacho Fernandez is it? Oh, I don't know if that's the right name. The Real Madrid. I don't know if he's still at Real Madrid. The centre back. That was at Real Madrid. He has similar condition. His not quite as bad as I believe, but it's not far away. He's the only other one I could think of that has the same, like, similar level of condition. Because I believe that he struggles to play full 90 minutes as well. However, his position is less demanding in the sense of running. So he I think he can play full 90 minutes because of that. But it was like Livingston tried to play Anderson for a full 90 minutes at Easter Road once, and he had to get rushed to hospital because he went into what's it called? It's like hypergenic shock or something. I have no idea. It begins with I think it's like hypo shock or. I'm trying to guess medical terms here. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. And there was a news article on it though. I was reading about it. I was just like, wow. I actually had no idea. But it is incredible the fact that people play and get past with these kind of obstacles, because it's just like wow. And it is impressive as well. Like the fact that they do that. And fair play to them as well. Fair play to them. It wouldn't be me. But yeah. I think on that one, I think I'm gonna end the stream. I think we've had a really, really good Sport Pod. I've had really good conversation. Really enjoyed talking about football again. And nearly at 2 hours. I think we've had a great time. Appreciate everyone that jumped in. This has been like I've really, really enjoyed this. Team as well. Again, if you're at the end of this, please do like the stream. Please do make sure you comment, subscribe if you are new as well. It all helps. Yeah, catch you next time, team. Look after yourselves. I might be live again tomorrow. Do we make it 3 days in a row? 3 streams in a row? I mean, surely that's madness. Surely that's madness. 3 streams in a row. surely 3 streams in a row is just a bit much. I don't know, who knows? Wait and see. But yeah, team, look after yourselves. I'll see you later on. And adios.